talking to Matt Firor from ZeniMax, online studio CEO you are, I believe.
Yes.
And we are talking today about the Elder Scrolls Morrowind. And so as I understood, it's a little bit like a DLC for the Elder Scrolls Online?
Yeah, we call it a chapter because it's much bigger than a normal DLC. But we do DLCs every quarter, every 12 weeks, but this one was much bigger, so we call it a chapter. We had new class, new battlegrounds, a new PvP type, and then of course a huge new zone to play in.
Okay, I have to admit this is like a new topic for me because it's not my specialty. But as I heard, you are a pioneer in RPG. You are doing it for over 30 years?
Yes. Not over 30 years, 29 years.
Okay, 29 years. Okay. And this game is actually a bit older, I think from 2014, kind of?
Yeah, so Elder Scrolls Online came out in 2014. And so it's had 5 or 6 or 7 DLCs and then one new chapter. So in 2014 was the PC launch, 2015 was the console launch, and then we had a bunch of DLCs, and then Morrowind, Elder Scrolls Online Morrowind came out just in June of this year, so 2 months ago.
Okay.
We already have another DLC which came out last week, and so we do every quarter, so we'll have another DLC in the 4th quarter of this year too.
So let's talk a bit. 29 years, it's a long time. So how did development back then change if you look at it from nowadays? Did a lot change for you? I mean, of course you didn't have online games back then, but I've read you did BBS games.
Yeah, I've only done online games. I've never made a single user game. So yes, back then it was BBS. They weren't really BBSs, but it was a Unix operating system that you dialed into with a modem, and we put. Do you remember modems?
Of course,
yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so we've got 12 phone lines into a friend's house and stacked 12 modems up, and so we could have 12 players online at one time.
Okay.
And you could play an RPG that way. So it was all text.
But back then you didn't you didn't have like millions of users.
No, we had dozens. it was more for fun, But over time, the game industry grew, and then real online games started to become possible, and then we started a real company in the mid-90s, early mid-90s, and then that was Mythic Entertainment, and we made 12 games, and then we made Dark Age of Camelot, which was a big MMO from 2001. So, but that was after being in the industry almost 10 years.
Okay, and you are not getting tired of this, or thought about changing the genre in a way, doing something else?
No.
For example, adventures, which can be quite similar.
No, I love making these types of games.
Okay.
And the Elder Scrolls is a great IP to work with, and I've been working on this game since 2007. So it's a very big game, and we started the studio in 2007. We probably started on the game around 2009. It came out in 2014. So, but it has a lot of users now, and a lot of people play it every day, and so they want new content constantly. So we love making DLC, and we love making new chapters, and we'll keep doing it.
So what did you do in the new chapter to make it interesting for the long-time players?
So Morrowind is an area of the world that players played in a single-player Elder Scrolls game 15 years ago. So that was Elder Scrolls 3 Morrowind. So we took the map from that game and brought it into Elder Scrolls Online, but we set it 700 years before. So it's a little different because it's 700 years before, but it's the same map, basically. Lots of fun stories there.
Sounds a bit like a reboot, kind of, but a multiplayer reboot.
Yeah, prequel? I don't know.
Prequel, okay.
Yeah. I don't know. All of Elder Scrolls Online takes place before the other Elder Scrolls games, so it's all a prequel. But yeah, it's a lot of fun to do Morrowind because so many gamers have such great memories of the original Morrowind.
I have played the original.
Yeah.
I know that one.
So when you play it in Elder Scrolls Online, you go in, you know where you are. It looks very similar, but with modern graphics.
Okay, great. And what's the thing you are the most proud of that you put in that is different from the original Morrowind?
Good question.
Thank
The
you.
story we no, yeah. There are a couple of storylines in the game that in ESO Morrowind that I think are really, really good. One of them is in Balmora, which is the same town as Balmora in the original game. That storyline is one of my favorites in all of Elder Scrolls Online.
Great. And is there anything you would have liked to put in but didn't put in and will come in a DLC?
Always.
Always?
Yeah, we always have more ideas than we have time. So but we'll work on those over time. You know, we have a list of features in our head that go, you know, for years, and we'll get to them eventually. So, you know, now it's Morrowind. We had Horns of the Reach, a DLC, which launched last week, which is Dungeons, and then we have Clockwork City, which is a DLC, launches in fourth quarter, and Clockwork City is in Morrowind, but it's a separate DLC and lets you go into the Clockwork City. And so, yes, we have lots of ideas, and we'll just keep making those stories as we go.
So how long do you need for a DLC from the concept idea of the release that people can download and install it? I guess over Steam most likely?
Well, we have our own platform, plus Steam, plus PlayStation, plus Xbox. So, and on Mac too, so we have many platforms. So.
Okay, but what's the development time from the start?
It depends on the size of the DLC. We have different teams that work on different things, and for Dungeon DLC, it's months. If it's for a chapter size thing, it's a year.
Okay. And did you consider the Switch that is currently hyping from Nintendo?
I love the Switch. We haven't really thought about making ESO for it because ESO requires a network connection, and the Switch can go places where there's no internet, and so you can't play ESO if there's no internet. So I don't think Nintendo would like that. Right?
Okay. Well, you could do some kind of buffering, maybe.
But you can play Skyrim on Switch. So
yeah.
You get your Elder Scrolls fixed that way.
It's not the same, but at least it's similar. Yeah, right. So, what do you think is the next big thing? Are you considering VR in a way for?
We're looking at VR, but here at the show, Bethesda has Doom VR, Skyrim VR, and Fallout VR. That's enough VR. What we do is a little different from that. With a big open world game, it's much harder to do VR because monsters can spawn behind you, and there's technical problems with it. But it's interesting. I like the idea of VR. We just haven't figured out how to integrate it properly.
Okay. And is there any other massive multiplayer online game that you enjoy besides your own?
Oh yeah, well, I play many games, but I like games that aren't MMOs too. But I love Destiny. I like Grand Theft Auto online, and I play FIFA. So games are games.
Okay.
People aren't always locked into one genre, and so I just like to play games.
Okay. And what is the reason that you never try to make a different genre, like experimenting in another field?
These are the types of games that I know how to make, and so I know how to do them, and so of course that's what I am. You do what you know.
As you do massive multiplayer online RPGs, what is your opinion about game publishers and creators making all kind of different games and putting a story mode in it and call it an RPG? Because that is something that happened a lot this year at Gamescom. Everybody called it an RPG. Instead, it's a fighting game, beat 'em up, or it's a racing game, but they call it RPG because they put a story mode in it. Isn't that kind of a strange development for you?
I haven't seen any of those. I haven't been outside of this room for most of Gamescom, so what I think an RPG is the game is based around the story.
Okay, so you think that this kind of games will change in a way when we have more people connected to it, even faster internet?
Yeah, these games change all the time. Think what an MMORPG was in 2004 or 2001. ESO isn't like those games at all. It's very casual friendly with hardcore systems. It's PvP, it's PvE, it's it's on console, it's on PC. It's vastly different from those games. So, I think MMO, that term now, is more about technology. About lots of players getting together to play a game, and it's not what the game is; it's how you connect to the game. And so, Destiny's an MMO. I mean, League of Legends is an MMO. All these games are
very known.
Use the technology, and so it's now like I consider ESO, Elder Scrolls Online, to be an online RPG. It's just an RPG that you play with multiplayer, right? That's all it is. And I think that's the way people will start thinking about games in the future. Like Grand Theft Auto Online. Do you call it an MMO?
No.
But it is an MMO, right? So I think that's the way the industry goes. Every game will have some online component, most of them, and it'll just be normal to have other players in your game.
It's a good answer, actually. Yeah, never thought this way. Yeah. So maybe because it has elements, it's also easier to sell for the creator because people know the concept already from other games, like from yours, for example.
Yeah. But that helps and it hurts. If you call a game an MMORPG and it doesn't feel like World of Warcraft in 2004, then people won't. It'll be weird. So you want to make sure that how you describe the game is actually what the game is.
So what's your plan for this game in the next, let's say, 5 years?
Yeah, well, we have as many players playing the game now as we did over the last 2 years. So we're doing very well. We're adding new players. In June we announced that 10 million players had bought and played the game since we started. So we have a huge community. So we'll keep giving content to the players. We always listen to what the players want, so sometimes we make balance changes, polish, add features based on feedback from them.
From what I've heard, it had a rough start. At the beginning, when it started, it had mixed reviews from the press.
Yeah, we had, in the beginning, it was much more MMO and Elder Scrolls game. And so the two pieces didn't always fit together well. So we took the first year after we launched and made it much more an Elder Scrolls game. So much more solo friendly and fixed some problems. And then when we launched on console a year later, it was much better received and much better received.
If you look at other games of that type, do you feel like they copied something from you?
Every game copies from everything. I mean, everybody, we're all gamers, we know the games that we like, and of course, I have seen things from my games and other games, it's fine. And it's like, you want to make a good game, and if you see a good idea, you think about how that would apply to your game, and then you see if it works or not.
So what's your personal plan that you want to achieve in the next 20 years?
20 years from now, I'm going to be very, very old. I just want to make games. I just want to make games. That's it. And give people, the chance to play in a virtual world. Yep. And so this is the first big show since it came out. But really, every year I come to Gamescom just to talk about ESO because we add so many new DLCs that I just talk about what we're doing.
Okay, and you never get tired of it?
No.
It's great. Okay, good. So thank you very much for your interview. That were all my questions.
Yeah,
thank you.